Hello everyone, and welcome back to another PlateUp video. Today is a different kind of video. Today I'll be showing you how to automate all 6 types of fish in one machine. To begin, we're going to be starting off with the 2 basic fish, the pink fish and the blue fish. These 2 fish are the simplest to automate. All it requires is 2 grabbers and 2 safety hobs. If you want some extra storage, pick up 2 more grabbers and a couple of prep stations. Make sure that these are regular prep stations. You never want frozen prep stations with fish, since they can change where they spawn each day. Now, one thing to keep in mind is that these setups I'm going to show you are all safe. There will be no burning of any kind, but they are on the slower side. So pinkfish has a cook time of 4 seconds, and when cooked on a safety hob, that 4 seconds is increased to 5.3 seconds. And bluefish has a cook time of 7 seconds, increased to 9.3 seconds when cooked on a safety hob. Let's show a little demonstration of how this runs. As you can see, it's a little slow. The bluefish take very long, but early on in the game, this isn't a huge issue, or if you have 3 types of fish cooking, it's not a big issue either. You could add on another safety hob or even just a regular hob instead of the safety hob and have a garbage disposal system. So you get the idea. Bluefish, much slower than the redfish. Let's move on to the next fish. The next fish we're going to be adding will be the fish fillet. So let's go ahead and select that card right now. So for the fillet, what we're going to need to do is we're going to add in 2 conveyor mixers into each one of these setups. So let's go ahead and do that now. So now that we've added fish fillet to the menu, we have to put it through a mixer to chop it, which takes 3.6 seconds, and then cooking it on a safety hob takes another 4 seconds, with an overall time of 7.6 seconds per fish fillet. So the overall process is 2.3 seconds slower than pinkfish, but it is 1.7 seconds faster than the bluefish. Now, one adjustment you can make here is the use of rapid mixers instead of the conveyor mixers. This will require the use of 1 extra grabber on each side, but will improve the speed of the fillets by 1.2 seconds. So it really depends if you're in the need for speed or if you're in the need for space for your restaurant. Personally, I opt for the space saving option. Let's show a quick demonstration of how the fillets run through this machine, although it's quite simple and I'm sure you can imagine it. So as you can see, the pink fish are filling out faster than the fillets, which is as expected because the fillets are 2.3 seconds slower than the pink fish. So I think you get the idea of it here. Let's move on to our next fish, the oysters. So now you can see that we've added oysters to our menu, and since these don't require any other change to our setup, I'm going to quickly talk about the speed of the oysters. So the oysters, they chop extremely quickly, less than 0.3 seconds. So I don't really find a huge difference between using the rapid mixer versus the conveyor mixer. So surprisingly, our biggest obstacle with these, for me personally, tend to be the speed of the conveyors, since moving from one conveyor to the next takes a full second. So having a rapid mixer versus conveyor mixer doesn't much matter, but I tend to go with the conveyor mixer since they save a lot more space. Now let's show a quick demonstration of how the oysters go through this machine. Now you can see they go through very quickly, so you'd think we have a stockpile of oysters, but since people can order up to 2 to 3 oysters, you can go through these oysters much quicker than you'd ever imagine. So now we're going to add the next simplest thing to our menu to automate, which will be the spiny fish. The interesting thing about the spiny fish is that it actually requires you to remove the bones and put those in the garbage before you can cook it. So to do that, you actually use a portioner, which will remove the bones from the spiny fish. Then you can cook the spiny fish on the safety hob. Let me show you how to set that up. So now we have our setup for the spiny fish. Now keep in mind Sometimes I do find that just one compactor bin tends to back up, so it would be best to usually use 2 compactor bins, but for our demonstration purposes, we're just going to use 1. Also, I know the layout here doesn't look super space efficient, so just do what you find best to fit your restaurant. So, to portion the bones out of the spiny fish, that takes 1 second, which is the same amount of time as it would to move along a single conveyor. And the cook time of spiny fish is the exact same as the pink fish, 5.3 seconds on a safety hob. So, let's now show a quick demonstration of what happens when the spiny fish go through this system. So here we go, the spiny fish has been portioned, and then it'll go through that conveyor mixer like nothing happened. Same amount of time as it would take to cook a pink fish. Now, as you can see here, as I mentioned before, that the bones tend to back up. So it's going to happen soon here, right about now, there we go. It's actually taking longer for it to portion and the bin to compact the stuff, rather than it would for the fish to actually cook on the hob. So that's why we'd like to implement 2 compactor bins into this setup. So now we're going to be adding the final fish choice to our setup, which is the worst fish choice in my opinion, and that would be crab cakes. So to do crab cakes, what you need to do is you need to chop the crab so the conveyor mixer will stay. Then you need to combine with flour and a chopped egg. So we need to add in 1 thing of flour, 2 grabbers for that, 2 combiners. Then we need to also add in 2 eggs, 2 more conveyor mixers, 2 more combiners, and about 4 more grabbers. Let's see what that looks like here. So now we have our setup for every type of fish in the game, and we just recently added crab cakes to this setup. Using conveyor mixers, the crabs take about 1.7 seconds to chop, and then to cook them takes about 6.6 seconds. So they're about the same speed as our fish fillets. So let's add our card, crab cakes, and see how this system runs with crab cakes added. So here we have crab on the right hand side. You can see that it gets chopped by the mixer, combined with the egg, and then combined with the flour on top of the safety hob. There it cooks and is done actually slightly faster than the fish fillet. So crab cakes are indeed faster than fish fillet by probably about 0.5 seconds in my estimate. And here we have every fish automated in 1 machine. I hope you all enjoyed this quick tutorial video. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Have a good one.